Hello, everybody. How are we all doing? Yeah, I didn't like the music that was on it originally, so I changed it. 25 months, Biscuit. That's awesome. The luxury. Hi. I heard this new LARP is called Dominion. No, you heard wrong. Who told you that? Only an idiot would tell you that. It was probably me. Um, Hello, everyone. Welcome to this madcapness of stuff. So we are here for the first time on a stream, podcast, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, I don't know, Twitter, X, whatever it's called. We're going to go over this LARP for the very first time. Second time, first time. No, it is the first time on social medias. Second time we've been spoken about. Because the first time was obviously at the panel at MCM, which will hopefully be uploaded this evening. My internet be bad, but it is going. It is going. But this will be the first time that anybody has been able to sit down properly and answer questions. We'll go through a load of things, the potential location, show off its fancy animated new graphic about it all. So if you look behind me, it's all there. Look, the flag's moving, and there's lightning in the back. Can I see lightning? It's very funky. I really like it a lot. I'm not just saying that. I'm not being paid. I have to tell the truth. But then again, even if they were paying me, I would still tell the truth. So, for those who don't know, the man on the other side of the screen to me is Nick. He has never been on the stream before. He has never LARPed before. He doesn't know anything about what he's talking about, apart from this game. Sorry, that was funnier in my head. Question 1. What's a menhir? A menhir, go read Asterix and Obelix. That's all I'm going to say on that. Recommend reading Asterix and Obelix anyway. But this is more a history question than anything else. A menhir is a stone of religious connotations for ancient druids and pagans and ancient religions. Essentially, it was like you can say that Stonehenge was essentially a big pile of menhirs in a way.
Yeah, so Stonehenge is made out of many menhirs.
Many menhirs. Or as Biscuit would say, menhir I hardly knew here. Stealing a joke. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I have my Obelix costume ready. That's awesome. I look forward to seeing it. There was an Asterix and Obelix at MCM as well. And they were really, really good.
They were
very, very good. So, this is going to be the first time you've actually sat down and faced proper questions about this new Fest LARP system that is here to rival Lorien Trust, Curious Pastimes, and Profound Decisions.
Yeah.
We hope. Well, you hope. So, as a LARP designer, I think is the best way to describe what you do as well. Do you think that's fair? I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anyone else out there wants to pay you to design a LARP for them, you have that opportunity as well. Probably not at the moment though, because he's making a Fest LARP system. But still, I'll ask the easy first question. Okay, we'll let Dan off with this one. What is Menhir's fate?
It's a Fest LARP system.
Thank you. Right. So next question then. What? Sorry. Okay.
So it's a high fantasy Fest LARP game. We have obviously I've been in LARP for a long time, and I've been lucky enough to meet a massive collection of incredibly talented plot writers, mechanical designers, just everything that comes to LARP, the best of everyone. Well, I think the best of everyone. And I've been Yeah, essentially the first thing I ever did for this system was I wrote down essentially the Avengers of LARP. I had like a list of names that I wanted to contact, which I thought were the best at everything to do with LARP. And I contacted them and I got everyone on that list. And we all started working on making Menhirs Fate. It's going to be a high fantasy, high production LARP system.
Thank you for gifting the 5 subs, Hewitt. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. Yes, this is a conversation that has gone back quite a while, hasn't it? The whole talk about a new LARP Fest system, well, a new LARP system in general, something to take like the best bits of a lot of LARPs and put it into one place to hopefully give people the best of everything that's out there and have it in one designated area, essentially. So,
Yeah, we're also making a lot of brand new things and new systems as well.
yeah,
So we've looked at like the basics and almost like the traditions of LARP, and have gone, why are we doing this? Is this actually necessary?
hmm,
And is there a better way of doing it?
yeah,
Um, so one of the things that we're getting rid of is God. We're getting rid of the God system. We don't think
yeah,
it's needed. So we're scrapping God, and instead that can be a completely in character interaction. So when you're waiting to get stuff done, it's in character. Um,
yeah.
and is serving a lot of different things. So that is now uh, the Bankers Guild, which will have a proper name. At the moment, we'll call it the Bankers
The
Guild.
Bankers Guild. So, because this has got a lot of people very excited. I think it's fair to say, it was received very well at Comic Con when it was mentioned and in other places. We won't name the individual who got so excited about it. I thought he was going to have a stroke. Digby. Um, he was so excited about it because it was more stopping people from having to go all the way out of the field to do something. You're now getting them to they can deal with it 2 minutes away from their own tent. They can walk in to the middle of the town centre and just deal with their issue there and then. So I suppose it's going to be on like a sort of ICOC level. So they'll be going in character, but the issue will be dealt with. So it's like, OC, I haven't received all my money. So you'll be going, I haven't been paid properly.
Oh, it's a
And
banking error. We do apologise for the banking error. Could just check your
that's it.
accounts for you.
Yeah.
So we can then keep that going in character. So
Yeah.
we want as much of the game to be in character as possible. So obviously you're
That's
paying for
wonderful.
your time to be, you know, say it's 24 hours of in character time, which is more than that. But
Mm.
over your weekend, we don't want you to go out with like 45 minutes of your game. If you're, the other side opposite to where God is,
Yeah.
that's a long old walk, which for anyone like, that's a mobility problem as well as
Mm.
it's a long walk for you to go out of character, then wait, then have your issues solved, and then walk all the way back. So our idea is that all of our nations are around a central point, which will be our city center, and all of the main bits are going to be done there. So it's equal distance for everyone to get to.
So I've just seen Boland's comment. That's really good. That's just gonna make me laugh for a second. I have a question about that. So the issue with a lot of other LARPs, the Fest LARPs especially, is they queue. There's a long, long old queue for it.
Yeah.
How would you feel when people are just gonna say, "You're just moving the queue now"? So instead of going out of character, and then now just queuing in character instead.
There's a couple of things. I'm trying not to say any particular systems, but like there's certain things that are done in other systems where we don't need to know, like we don't care about certain bits of admin because it's not important.
Right.
So
Okay.
say I have a flaming sword,
Mhm.
or you've got a ribbon, or like a piece of paper or card, or whatever that says I have a flaming sword that does X. As us, the system, because of how we're doing our enchanting and potion system, we don't need to know.
Okay.
So you don't have to do admin for it. You've got to make it, but there's no admin after that. And if I go, that person hitting people with a lot of fire, whatever X weapon that ability that does,
Hmm.
we can go over and go, what does that sword do? Look at it and go, Oh, okay, yeah, it does do the thing. Enjoy the rest of your game and crack on. We
Mm.
don't need you to take time out of your busy LARP schedule to go off and do some admin on my behalf because
Okay, so it's not
yeah.
going to be, you're not going to essentially go over to people, pull them away from their game. You'll just have a ref simply run over very quickly and go, "Can I just quickly see that?" And go, "Oh, cool, cheers," and then run off
Yeah,
again.
oh, that's
Those few
amazing. Awesome.
seconds, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Who made that? Oh,
that's
person.
really good. That's really really good. It's all about being streamlined and keeping people in game more than out of game.
Yeah, yeah. We don't see why we need to keep bringing people out of character. We don't have to.
No,
So you can just keep yourself in your zone.
yeah, okay, that's cool. So Bolam has said, "What do you say to the rumours that this LARP is just a ploy from the Isle of Wight tourist board to trick more people onto the island?"
So it's going badly for them because it's not going to be on the Isle of Wight, and also I'm leaving the Isle of Wight soon. So currently, people that know me, I live on the Isle of Wight. I'm escaping for the first time in a
Yes,
couple of months.
yeah. So and then Nebsy, welcome to the channel. Where so this is two questions. So it links on from what Bolam has said to the question about the sword. So so I will hasten to add as well. I do have a lot of my own questions here as well, but questions from chat, who are your potential players, as well. I would rather rule those questions out than just work through mine. So chat questions will take priority over
Yeah.
mine. So where is the game going to be held in the country? And are those items made with skills or a point system? So what's the location first?
So location is so I'll give it away. I'm not going too much. It is a 7-minute drive from Baldock train station, which is north of London. It's on.
Everything's north of London.
Yeah, it's not the
Everything's
Isle of Wight.
yeah. Well, it is if you go that far around. Um,
So it's
closer to Milton Keynes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So Baldock train station is going to be the train station that people training there are going to take, and then we're going to have a shuttle bus service going there to the site, and it's 7 minutes.
Yeah.
The site is massive. It's incredibly beautiful.
Mm.
I think I sent you a document earlier about the site and what it looks like in the forest.
I've seen it for
Um,
ages.
yeah,
Thank
there
you
you have.
for subbing, The Chosen.
And when myself and the other directors went to the site for the second time, so I did the initial visit. The second visit, we went after 4 days of rain. No, after 3 days of constant rain. Fourth day of rain that we all went. It was
Mm.
constantly pouring down. I was wearing completely the wrong shoes. I didn't
Yes, sorry.
stop dying. I'm trying to talk. But yeah, but I didn't slip at all. There wasn't one puddle.
No.
Essentially, it's a lovely bit of ground, but then underneath that, it's then essentially just a chalk pit underneath. But just all the water just drains straight through, and
Mm.
it has a private road that'll be completely controlled by us, which has an in and out of the site. So you go in one way and out the other. So it's also a constant one-way system, and it's 1.5 miles long.
Yeah. It is a.
It's huge.
It's bigger than another Fest system site. I think it's bigger than all of them.
It's bigger than all of them.
Bigger than all of them, and it is a lovely looking site. So I've seen the site, I've seen the maps, I've seen how to get there, how to get away from there. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I have helped. I am, well, me and a couple of other people, we're doing gate for you, aren't we? So we're gonna be. I have seen. I know how it's all planned, and I know what's going on, and it is looking good. It looks very, very good. I think um, at Comic Con, I had a few questions from people around combat, which I've been able to get answers from you when I get all my information from Nick when he's drunk and in spoons with me. So I get a lot of
That's why I
information.
keep buying me drinks.
That's why I
Okay.
keep buying you drinks. So I get a lot of information that way, and there isn't anything about this system that's maybe go. Well, no, I tell a lie. There was one thing about this system that made me go, okay. but it is it's something that we have talked about a fair bit in a fair bit of detail, and I know you have had conversations with other people, and I am going to bring it up, but not right this second. So, but I am going to bring it up. Um, the site is great. The site is really good. The layout that you have planned, because I've seen the rough idea, is really good. It's on point. It's easy for people to get in, to get off, and to set things up and to move things around. So, and the people who own the site as well actually look after it really well.
Yeah, yeah. So
There's no broken arm holes in the floor, is there?
no, which is obviously a big important thing for me.
Very important.
So when we go around the site, there was one rabbit hole. Bear in mind, this is like kind of early in the year,
Hmm.
and they could not stop apologizing for that one rabbit hole existing in the forest. Yeah, baby. But yeah. So they said, "Don't worry about that. We're very, very sorry. We'll make sure that that rabbit hole, that one rabbit hole in the entire field,
Hmm.
is filled in before any game starts."
Yeah,
Just
that's cool.
mad.
That's cool. So I'm just heading back up to a question from Helen earlier, and then I'll scroll back down to the other questions.
Oh yeah. So the other question as well was the magic items, is that skill or points based
Yes.
system?
Yeah.
Um, so it is a skill. So I've made, be a bit of a longish one, a mathematical algorithm for our potion making and enchanting, and I'll try and explain it very quickly. So you've made your potion. You'll have essentially what it is that you've made at home written on the front, which will be, Hefty Yeti's incredible elixir. So your face in it or branding, your thing, elixir.
Yeah.
And on the back, like you would have on a Coke bottle, you then have the points that you've bought to kind of be able to do that, and its description of what it is and its abilities. So how that works is, instead of like other systems where you buy potion lists, you actually buy individual skills
Yeah.
from essentially like your XP kind of like skill list. You buy the individual skills that you like or want to have in there, which can include kind of like medium, heavy, and severe roleplay. So Hefty Yeti's elixir could be, and I know you're not into this sort of game, a drug. So you could make your own custom drug. Or it could be, because it doesn't have to just be potions, it could be a bag that has, I really like this one, um, cookies or gingerbread men in it. So we
Mm.
have the Yeti's gingerbread man. And mechanically, you put down essentially something that grows you kind of like your limbs back or gets your health potions back, also hit points back. And once you lose an arm and you bite the arm off the gingerbread man, you gain your arm back. That's because you've chosen that's where you want it to be. So we'll have like enchanting and apothecary stations, because essentially they're both using the same system but use different resources. Um, you role play making the item, and you
Right.
have your bag and stuff or your bottle already pre-made, and the rules sort of like dots that you kind of like taken part of your skill,
Yeah.
and someone will come over and go, "Oh, what are you making?" And then they'll check it out,
Mm.
which will also be a ref, and they'll look at it and go, "Oh, that's cool." And essentially, what they're doing is checking to make sure, number one, um, that the your role play description is within the barriers of what it's allowed to do, and also that it's not against our essentially like our terms and conditions, and not being a baddie,
Yeah.
essentially. So no love potions or anything weird or creepy or anything like that. So they
Yeah.
check it to go, is this safe to be in our game? Yep. Okay. Cool. Is this in accordance to the rules? Yep. Have they got the resources? Yep. And then essentially they'll have then a sticker put onto that, depending on how many doses they're making. And that sticker will look like a kind of like a stamp that words like a wax seal stamp. So it'll be in character,
Okay. Cool.
something like that. So put it on, and awesome. That is now an in character item.
Excellent.
You can walk around and do whatever, and then you use it. You just rip off the sticker, and you've now used up that in character item.
I suppose depending on how many potions you're making, in essence. If you've made 10, you need 10 separate things to have a stamps put on it, and then you can go, that's yours, and that's that.
Yeah.
For example. Cool. Okie dokie.
Yeah.
So,
But the idea of that is that we think it's very limited, especially when it comes like enchanting and potion making in other games. Like you can't put your own personality and character behind it. So you wanted the ability that you can put your personality and character
yeah.
behind it. It is something that is uniquely you and individual. So you're not just all selling exactly the same health potion, or you can create your own drugs. But then, if our characters, if you're just taking the drug dealer character design, everyone's going to come up with a different idea of a different drug.
Yeah. I just come
At
up
which
with an
point,
idea for a drug just this second, and it's making me laugh inside. It's so dumb.
yeah, but that's the point is you're going to come up with some funny stuff. Other people are going to come up with some funny stuff. There's already now a lot of funny material in the game, and I didn't have to do any writing for it, and our plot team didn't have to do anything for it. It's free content. But now there'll be different people trying to sell their drugs, and there'll be gang wars, or not gang wars, but there'll be something going on in between those
PvP.
characters. Yeah, there'll be
There'll be
some sort of like
PvP.
social PvP between that, and that's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's
That's,
better to have
yeah.
it.
That's
Yeah,
good. So, Helen's asked, what kind of genre is this LARP?
genre. So,
Then I can scroll down and catch up with chat.
so it's essentially a happy medieval fantasy game. So when I say medieval fantasy, it's essentially best way of putting it. It's as close to Dungeons and Dragons as you can possibly get, and Baldur's Gate 3 sort of vibes, mixed with Skyrim, and like essentially like the classics. This is a game that's based around you and your group of friends going off and going on adventures, and
Yeah.
and doesn't have to be adventures that are fighting. We've got adventures for everything, and we've got guilds to help process that, as well as our nations and how our nation sort of like structure works
Yeah.
on a kind of like a crew basis to make sure that everyone gets as much plot as we can possibly pump out. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, so
Yeah.
essentially it's a high adventure game where you're fighting back against a blatant evil. So it's a very wholesome game, but with dark elements.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. I mean, yeah. I know what the dark elements are, and I know a lot of stuff behind, and I'm, yeah, very keen. But I'm trying to be neutral here, and I'm failing
Yeah.
miserably.
Yeah,
Uh,
so essentially the overview of the game is it's a beautiful, wonderful world where you're interacting with lots of beautiful things, and normally everything would be lovely, incredible, magical fantasy world. Except we now have a demonic invasion that happened that's kind of been really hitting hard for the last 50 years, and everyone is almost on their last territories.
yeah.
And suddenly, a Menhirs turned up with a landmass around it called Haven, with the ability to start fighting back against the demons. And it's a place where everyone is gathering uh, at Haven to try and fight back against the evil that's trying to corrupt the world.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah. So Ryan said, I know you can't release kit briefs yet, but what kind of kit accessories should we be looking out for to get ready? See, I can answer this one. Being witness to a lot of the stuff that Kitty and everyone has done on their kit briefs and stuff like that. All I say, it's a massive variety, and it all depends on the nation you want to be. There's similarities, but there is also wild differences between all of the nations. So there are polar opposites, and there's also you're next to each other as well. So 3 realms, 9 nations.
Got it.
We'll come
You've
to
been paying attention.
and I'm not even drunk yet. So yeah, but we will touch on a lot of the nations a bit later on, because obviously I want to get through the basic questions first, because this is what everybody wants to know. This is why people have turned up. Because let's face it, they're not here watching this stream for me. They're here because they want to know about this new Fest LARP system. So, the Chosen, or Chosen the Chosen. Sorry for 3 questions in one. First one, how many players are you anticipating for the event? Is there a player cap? And any idea on prices? Three very good questions.
Yeah, so we are hoping for 2,000, and we get into the production values and who's working on this. I really don't think that's going to be a problem. But essentially, anything between 1,000 2,000 people is
Yeah.
essentially the line that we're looking at. However, we're putting a essentially structure in place for 2,000. Um, the What was the next question? Sorry, first one. Oh, player
Player
cap. We're not
cap.
got a player cap, so we're not doing a player cap. We can cycle up, no problem. We have the resources to do whatever number that comes at us.
What's the capacity
And
of the site? Helping.
149,999.
What's the capacity of the site?
149,999.
150,000. Yeah, but that's if everything's there for a festival, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So cutting it in half, probably, 75,000 because we have OC and IC field.
Yeah, and it'd be tents and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get that though, so I'm pretty confident between 1,000 and 2,000.
Yeah, I think it's like we said, wasn't it? It's this is how many ideally you'd see to break even, and then anything above that is a win. So aim low to start off with, and then anything above it is, well, hey.
Oh yeah, but no, I'm shooting straight for
You go
2,000.
straight for 2,000. Excellent. I think if you get more than 30 people, that's all the positives I'm taking from it. It's gonna do well. I know it will do well. I know it will do well. Any idea on prices?
So we want to be obviously competitive with other UK Fest systems. However,
149,909. No,
yeah, no.
no.
So yeah, we'll be competitive with other UK Fest systems. However, we are putting things in place that is a higher expense on our part for the game. So the site we're using is we're working in cooperation with Event and Security Solutions, which is a very large event management company. So they are essentially sorting out all of our kind of like groundwork stuff for us. So everything is going to be incredibly professional, and everything is signed off,
Mm,
and which also means it's also very expensive.
yeah,
But we're also going to have private security 24/7 there as well, because I say private security signed off uh, people, proper badge holders, and because we just find it like it's so important, and we find it's mad that there's events that have very large amounts of people in, but there isn't paid security at them. So we just want to make sure that if any, the worst thing happens, and we don't want the worst thing to happen, but if it does happen, we want to make sure that um, highly trained professionals are there to deal with any situation to make sure everyone feels as safe as possible.
yeah,
Because I've been in situations where something very bad has happened to me, and something very bad has also happened to a friend of mine, and I want to make sure that in these worst case scenarios, everyone is looked after to the best of our ability.
yeah. Definitely, definitely. Hubert Smith has asked, "What's the unique selling point of this LARP?"
Production values.
Okay.
So we are working with some incredibly talented people and system managers, as well as a incredible movie special effects team,
Hmm.
and other things. So I think the unique selling point of this one is this is a game for essentially small groups of people who have a very large amount of plot in a happy, wonderful world that is up to you to try and help save in a variety of different ways. So I think it's our guild's production and production value. And when I say production value, I'm talking about kind of special effects as well.
Hmm.
Because we're going to have some incredible special effects and really kind of big blockbuster moments that I just don't see often in large vest systems.
No.
For example, and some of the people that are working with us is iLARP. We've got Kitty and Johnny on board, and they are very important and much loved, and bought us the bear for Comic Con, which I know that you absolutely loved. A bit too much, which Kitty's going to have some words with you at some point about how incredibly sweaty you left that bear. It was so terrible. She forced me to touch the inside of the bag that the bear costume was in, and it was horrific.
It was
Anyway,
hot. It was really
with
hot.
them,
And I wore it for like 12 hours. And it's inside a convention. And then we went outside and it was 25 degrees outside. I was melting. I'm sorry, but
um,
do other people never sweat? I suppose their sweat smells like the botanical fucking gardens.
you knew how much you sweat, Steve. Let's not lie. Anyway, um, so they're working really hard on everything, and obviously
Yeah.
they have fantastic events, and they have blockbuster moments, like incredible games with blockbuster moments in them for 50 to 100 players.
Yeah.
Like, well, if there's the budget there for a game with 50 to 100 players, why aren't we doing this on a large scale?
Hmm.
When I say blockbuster moments, I was at obviously Flying Lead, and Flying Lead was an incredible game by Kiddy and Johnny and iLARP,
Yeah.
and the iLARP team, obviously, because they're all very talented crew. Um, there's a bit like we blew up a bank safe, and when we blew up the bank safe, all of the notes flew out into the air and were kind of like raining down on us. And that was like just one of the many bits of kind of like special effects
Mm.
that was going on. It was like, and also hanging people in other games and stuff like that as well. Obviously, all safety and special effects. Like there's so many amazing blockbuster moments. Oh, a wall of fire one where the devil came out of. That was amazing. That was so cool. I think, well, why is it in these small events and why isn't it in a bigger one?
Yeah.
Because like the budget should be there.
Mm.
So why aren't we got amazing giant monsters all the time and like cool special effects moments that is then being delivered for as many people to enjoy as possible instead of small groups?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Biscuit has asked, are they going to be permanent, semi-permanent structures?
Semi-permanent structures. 'Cause obviously the site is obviously rented. We do not own that site, so we can't make permanent structures. We have semi-permanent structures, but it includes some very massive and impressive tents.
Okay. There are a lot of impressive tents coming, and I know. I keep on saying I know. I've got to stop saying that. You've told me about and I've seen the stuff about the tents for player rental as well. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff there as well, which is very, very impressive.
yeah. So the site is also the site that Woodville Events is on, and Woodville Events is a large tent company that we're also working in partnership with.
Hmm.
Woodville Events, essentially, one of the biggest ones that they do is Glastonbury every year, and where they put out 5,000 mattresses within their tents,
Yeah.
all sort of like glamping tents. Essentially, what we see is in character tents,
Hmm.
as LARP is. Um, so we have essentially an unlimited amount of tents that we can hire, um, and because they're right on our doorstep, we don't have to. We're saving a lot of money, and that money saving on essentially transporting all those tents is going directly into our customers' pocket.
Hmm.
Um, can't say the price at the moment for tents, but essentially these tents will be immaculate, set up for you and taken down for you, and they can include, mattresses, bed frames, lighting, motion sensitive lights,
Chest of drawers.
chest of drawers, vanity mirror and
Yeah.
chairs, and some in the OC area can also have electricity powered into them as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. There's a lot. Uh, Pig Ink has said, "You're telling me I can make a series of frog-themed potions."
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you can.
Does sound cool. Um, So, like, not just doing a transactional, here's my herbs for this specific potion, but ones you've tailored and created. Wicked. That's cool. The Flickering Torch. What's the plan for presenting setting lore before the game? A large wiki or PDF rules, or is it a lot of find out in play?
Right. So, it's going to be a mix. So we're going to have a wiki, and we're also going to be producing a lot of online content. Because we are very lucky enough to know a lot of amazing content creators for LARP. None that I can see right now, but um, but yeah, you've done great work with obviously that the kind of the 5 minute videos for Empire, which were really great. So obviously we want to make sure that we have as much out there as possible. So as well as knowing a lot of content creators, we have content creators that are part of our team. So Hat Films is with us with Alex and co, and they'll also be helping with like the production values of making sure that our video quality is really good, have audio quality, as well as writing things down. We want to be accessible for as many people as possible.
Yeah, that's
And a
the
lot of
that's the
people
thing.
don't like walls of text. So trying to make sure that we have video information that's going out as well as audio information that's going out to make it as easy to digest for as many types of people as possible.
So Bolam's just asked, when is part 2 of this stream? Sorry, that's tickled me way more than it should have done. That was good. Yeah, because I've offered to do the Nations in 5 minutes thing, the same for the Neurospicy, the people who are dyslexic and stuff like that, to tailor it for you as well. So, purely part of the whole, I think everyone should LARP, and I want to promote it as much as I can. So I will hasten to add to everybody. I'm not getting paid for any of this. I think everybody should LARP. Very easy. But I think it's a mixture, isn't it? So you'll have a large wiki, you'll have a lot of stuff online which will be readable, but there will also be content covering it all as well. Are you thinking of doing something like Autumn has done for PD, with having essentially like audiobook type things, so people
Yeah,
can, yeah.
yeah. So audiobooks, a variety of voices and tones as well. And yeah, so audio content, video content, and obviously written wikis as
Yeah, yeah,
well. And that will be done in like a staged out process. So essentially, in a businessy marketing way, if we stage it out over time, the releases of information, it makes people press on the website more, and that helps us get it to the top of the list. Makes it just easier for people to access the website and find it.
yes,
And we need to make sure that people can, when they're looking for us, find us, especially as we have a funny sounding name.
yeah. So it is. Let me post the thing into. There you go. So that's the website there for everyone to see, which is good. So yeah, feel free, go in. That it's just literally put your email in and you'll get information. I actually did it today, so because I forgot basically, and I couldn't get into it when we were in Comic-Con because there was no signal. So Patrick's asked, how many crew? What crew roles are you going to have?
Lots. So we're gonna have lots. Which is obviously, part of the problem is recruiting that many crew as well. So what we're trying to do, however, is making sure that the crew is. Why are you dying now, Steve?
No, I
Are you
just see
okay?
Patrick's comment. Did anyone hear about the time Tiny put out a fire?
Oh, so we've got a special little house for Tiny, and he's gonna be there with a bucket of sand.
Excellent, that's good.
And so if there's any problems, we've got Tiny on it, so he can save the world with his sand.
Wonderful.
That's Tiny. But
Someone's
he
got to.
did start that fire. Um, don't know what the question was now. Yes, crew.
Crew.
So yeah, we have a lot of crew. Obviously, we're trying to make that as fun as possible. So a massive part of our game is that we have guilds. So guilds are designed to look at and solve uh, essentially problems that we see in LARP that happen quite
Mm.
often. And each one essentially has a way of trying to deal with that problem within LARP in a positive, in character way. Because that's currently what we're trying to do. Everything that we make is how do we make this so it has interactivity with other people and is fun and engaging
Yeah.
instead of trying to take you out of character. So our guilds will have things like, and their names may change, the Adventurers Guild, as well as the Treasure Hunters Guild, the Bankers Guild, Magicians Guild, and the Court of Daggers.
Yeah.
And all of these things go out into the game world and kind of help move things around. However, we'll need guild heads for all those things. So that'll be people that are playing in character permanent roles, who are the guild heads. So we need crew for them. We also need crew for essentially the people looking after our nations, which probably best described in other systems as like a faction command or egregore. However, we make ours do a lot of work.
Mm.
And that's not take anything down on other systems. They do a lot of work, but um, ours is probably closer to how faction command is done at Curious Pastimes, where there's a lot of admin. So essentially, they are managers of a nation
Yeah.
who are in character, and these managers will then help through the vetting process, everything else, because there's also trying to go around to helping another question that's a bit further down, just how plot goes out. Um, so the people in charge of those nations, as the managers of each nation, they are going to also write plot for that nation with the help of player refs. And these player refs come in and we train them up. So we'll have a whole training regime of basic ref, uh, basics of being a ref in our system. Then we'll also have combat ref training, uh, Menhir or weird weaving training, which is actually our ritual system.
Mm.
And then every sort of type of system, there's a separate training regime that they have to go through to be allowed to ref that part of the system.
Yeah.
Um, because training and making sure that everyone's got the right course and knows what's going on is the idea, and lots of radios. Um, so with that and a reward to the player refs for that as well, who can pop in and pop out, is that they all can also put in plot for their nation. However, it can't be anything direct themselves or their group. It has to direct to other different people, other groups.
Mm.
And there'll be essentially a form and a system. They write it in, say this is what we want to be able to do for our nation as plot, and then they hand it to the managers of the nation. They go, yeah, this is cool, or oh, change this around, or we can't just have that in a game. And they go back, change it, go in, and then we put it up to world plot because we're going to have world plot writers, nation writers for plot, and then guild plot writers. And then everything just checks to make sure it's not affecting the world plot that we're producing. And they go, no, it's not going against it. This is all fine. We can get you the costumes and stuff that you need to make that plot happen. That'll be then fed back and it'll been given a time slot and what day it's going to be on. And then whoever wrote that plot will be the head person to go out and make sure that that gets done as part of the ref team to go out with that encounter.
So
Now,
are you going to limit the amount of plot that an individual ref can put out? Because you could get a ref
yes,
who's
yeah, because we want first.
massively involved, and then all of a sudden they're putting out 30 pieces of plot.
Yeah, there will be a limit to them, and also we want to make sure that we're having a large collection of people and personalities putting in plot and designs. We want
Okay.
diversity of thought, because if you just have all of your plot written by a few people, it all starts to have a particular line of direction or problem solving.
Yeah.
So it keeps it fresh and different and entertaining each time.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. So Helen's asked, how is plot going to be written if it's heavily player driven?
So with that system, um, it writes up every nation's going to have its own plot designed, but it also means that as I'm obviously in other systems and I'm around, I'm not writing plot for myself or my group, so I'm obviously not writing plot for, say, the Crimson Reapers if I was in Empire. I'd look at everyone else in the league and go, that group's really interesting, that group's really interesting. They seem to really like these things together. So what we're going to do is write a plot for those groups to kind of like intermingle or go off an adventure together.
Yeah.
And then my reward for writing that is that I get to go and see it, and I get to see them interact with my plot and really enjoy that.
Good.
So then hopefully we'll have a better ref retention as well, because that storyline might continue over the next event or two. So they'll
Excellent.
come back and keep writing to make sure they keep seeing everyone and get that kind of happy feedback.
Good. Yeah, get the endorphins going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's there, and obviously when people volunteering their time and effort and their creativity, we want to make sure that they're having a great time and they feel appreciated.
Yeah.
Because there's no point us going, oh wow, amazing, we've got all the crew we need for the first event, and then no one feels appreciated and no one gets that kind of endorphin rush. And I've gone, oh, this is really boring. I was just stuck behind a desk all the entire game. I never really got to go out and
Yeah.
interact. So we want to make sure that they're enjoying themselves as much as possible. So we keep those refs and those people that we've trained up
Yeah.
to also be in character as well as
Yeah.
refs as well.
How are you going to keep all your crew and everybody? Des, thank you for subbing, mate. God, dear. Another sub. It's loads. Loads. Need more. If you've got Amazon Prime, please feel free to support me. That way it costs you nothing, but it helps me massively. How are you going to keep all your crew like energized and upbeat and stuff like that? And hashtag no ad here at all.
Yeah. So obviously most of them are in character. If they're having too much of a time, they can just leave in character and have shifts and stuff because it's all in character now and it's fun. They can just go straight out. They're already in character when they're there.
Sorry, there's a
And
hype train
enjoying
going.
themselves.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, CJ. Sorry,
They're
I
already
was really badly promoting Sneak. Sorry.
So anyway, just because you had a fight with the Sneak Bunny
I know.
with a sword, and now you're excited.
I think you've hit the nail on the head though already, haven't you, with crew and keeping them going and stuff, because they're going to see the outcome of their plot firsthand. So they are going to witness everything that people are doing, and then they're going to know, oh, we should throw this stuff into the game now. This is going to really fuck with them, and then they get to react to it as well, and they get to walk in and actually see it all happening as well.
Absolutely. So and even when you're doing stuff in character, you're seeing the other players interact and seeing them as their characters, and they get to just be part of the fun and the action.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing that I'd be looking for. What is the sort of turnaround you're going to allow for crew? So hypothetically, let's say there's a devilishly handsome person in Nation 9, and they are really doing all the shenanigans with the undead and things like that, as is their want. And a ref turns around to you after, say, 2 hours in game time and says, I think we should do this sort of bit of plot. Are you going to turn around to them on, say, timing on a Friday? Are you going to turn around and say, that's a great bit of plot, that's a really good idea, we'll do that next event, we have to do it next event? Or are you going to turn around and say, if we have everything to do it, we'll throw that at them tomorrow?
So we're going to have reactive plot.
Okay.
So all the plot we can react to, and we can react to essentially as in real time as you possibly can. We won't make fresh, brand new plot on the field because that's silly and mistakes can be made. Where something we haven't thought about or essentially a sensitivity thing we were just oblivious to if we're making something up in the field and we haven't checked it. But we are going to be very reactive to plot on the field.
Okay.
Like the system is very much a reactive system to everything, and that's in between games and also whilst the game is active.
Okay, that's cool. So Ruby Roo. I think this is Ruth. What can we expect from the combat system? When will more information be available, and when is the first event?
First event is next year. We will be releasing the 4 events um, we have next year very soon. Essentially, this Tuesday coming, I'm essentially signing all the paperwork at the office to kind of confirm and put down essentially all the stuff down to make sure it's all good. And as soon as all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, then we can say it's definitely these dates and these times. They're already penciled in and they're reserved for us, but I just got more paperwork to do before we can go. It's definitely these dates.
Yeah. Okay. So, and combat and everything will be made. I suppose that will be a big release in one time
So
when
do
it
that in
just is.
segments.
Yeah.
So our ritual system's pretty much done,
Mhm.
and how we're going to do that, and everything else is going to be very slowly spaced out in our combat. It is going to
Yeah.
be a global hit system, and we are going to have obviously combat magic. We're also going to have priest abilities that affect all areas, which are
Mhm.
a mix of combat, own version of ritualism, as well as protective slash healing. So essentially, we want people to be able to play with that, you know, paladins, clerics, and uh, big religious types, as well as like that personal interaction between people. That's gonna be a thing that all priests do.
Yeah.
Um, and other forms of combat. Yeah, obviously magic. We're gonna have ranged magic as well as melee magic, which will kind of go up to 30 feet. Other systems have it, such as Curious Pastimes, where they have an incredible system. And we went out and tested it there. Because obviously, I think a lot of people are kind of would be hesitant at a large scale system that has range spells. But we found that a lot more people can be involved in encounters with range magic, and a lot more people take it
Mm.
than in other systems. So in other systems, I've had 8 abilities, and 4 to 6 of them have been ignored out of my 8 that I have, and I have to do it in melee. At Curious Pastimes, I did over the weekend 48 range spells. One was one was ignored.
Okay.
Like it's such a better, like somehow it just works. Um, and I was really impressed by that. But that's also
Mm.
because they have a very high amount of refs, which we will also be having a very high amount of refs on our battlefield as well to make sure that everyone is happy with the rules. Someone that's a bit confused, someone just pop out and go, "That's what this does," and this is how we fix that system. And I go, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know." It's like, "It's no problem. Enjoy the game," and then we just fade back into the background again instead of causing a scene.
Yeah. I think the magic is an interesting one to see how it all comes across, because I know I've had plenty of questions when it comes to the magic and how that works, because I hate magic in everything. I don't even play it in games. Yet here I am coming to play this game and going to be heavily involved in the magic game.
Yeah.
In fact,
So,
I'm going. In fact, to shock everybody who knows me, everyone's going to go, "Oh, Steve will be there, plate fighting boy, and stuff like that." I'm going zero combat whatsoever, full on magic religion game. Let that be a shock to your systems.
so I think one of the reasons why is I've told you about the special effects we're having for our rituals.
Wasn't just it?
So
No, no. There is a specific nation that I want to play. That's
yeah.
the only
Yeah.
reason for it.
Um, so the menhir is what is used for doing all the rituals. Which is the big ritual stone, big standing stone, and you kind of interact with that to do your big rituals of your
Mm,
ritual team.
yeah.
And whilst that's happening, and you're doing a big ritual, because essentially it's done in 2 sections. There's sort of like smaller rituals and then big ones. When you're doing a big one, that's when we have our projection system on our sort of like invisible screens. This is used a lot now in a lot of modern theatre. It's having like projection imagery. So what we're going to have is, by the men here, there'll be essentially these just bits of fabric that you can see completely through. And it's all fine until we shoot a projection on it, and that's going to interact with your magic. So, say for example, you're building a wall of thorns to protect a village or town. Whilst you're casting your magic as your coven, those walls of thorns are actually going to come up and come in around you. And that will be able to be viewable from the audience and of the caster, and they can see you through it as well through this like projector screen. Because we want it to just be really cool moment. So it's not just music, not just a bit of lighting. It's like just really cool animations as well. So we're going to also try and have things like if you're playing a type of necromantic character, you could also be having the skeletons come out of the ground around you, or the spirits come in and around you whilst you're doing your magic, and everyone can see that. Or if you're doing a wall of fire, or doing some sort of fiery type magic, because our magic is based around the 4 elements. And another one, essentially, different, but that's based.
They're intrinsically linked to all the races, the nations, and the realms, aren't they?
Yeah.
So that is quite a large topic. So there have been a few questions about the nations, races, magic, and things like that. So it's all linked. So I was going to come back to that one in a little bit, so I can sort of catch up a bit. Will there be a downtime system?
Yes.
100% relaying questions from others. Yes. Okay, that's it. Yes.
Yes, this is the downtime system.
Yes, thank you.
It's going to be incredibly simple but complicated for us. But yeah. So I don't want to go too much into that, but it's going to be good. It's taking what people have really enjoyed from other downtime systems that are simple, and putting a bit more mystery in it and making it a lot more fun. But that will be revealed soon. But yes, there is one. Be excited for it. No, I can't tell you
more. Are the dates going to overlap any other UK Fest LARPs?
No. We've like great pains to make sure we're not going to go with any. So we've checked with most of the Curious Pastimes and Empire. We're not going to overlap. Other ones we haven't looked into.
Is it more of a case of you emailed them and they didn't bother replying?
I'm not going to say.
Okay, I'll say it. Because they never fucking reply to me. Take from that what you will. Peldrigal. See, I'm going to read your question as I initially read it, and then I will read out what you actually said. So, are the players going to do NPC shit? And then it actually says, are the players going to do NPC shifts? Do you see where I read it too quickly?
Yes, same as kind of like every other kind of like major fest system.
Yeah.
If you want to partake in essentially the battles, then we're going to also ask that you also donate your time as well.
So like Empire do, you monster and then you fight. Yeah.
However, we're not having the same battle system as Empire has.
No. But that's all going to get released when you released all the stuff about combat and things like that. So
yeah,
that's fine. Because obviously, when more stuff is released, you'll be on again. You'll come on again, and we'll go over everything again. Because interest will build and build and build, and
I'm sure there'll be a lot more questions for a lot of stuff when we start revealing stuff.
Exactly. So Helen's asked, has the initial interest met what you had hoped for, e.g. websites, sign-ups, Comic-Con?
Yeah, Comic-Con even better than we expected. Comic-Con was mad. Essentially...
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. It's pretty much, I think it's for everyone, though. I think all the LARPs had a really good reception. Bastion was great. Providence is great. Northern Kingdoms did incredibly well. It's just it's a shame that they're small systems because they're already sold out. They can't get any more tickets.
I keep
Um,
on saying to Simon, when are you gonna like expand?
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
but
Just
it's
Simon's
just,
incredible. Like he's
it,
so good. Simon and Ruth.
yeah. I mean,
They
they
both
both
run
are
the
phenomenal.
Northern Kingdom system. If you don't know, that's the Witcher game. It's really good. I'm playing it. Please stop trying to get tickets. It makes it difficult for me.
Mm, yeah, I think yeah, Comic Con was great all around for everyone. It
yeah,
was
yeah.
absolutely fantastic.
I think yeah, we had like queues out the doors. Obviously, the panel went really well. Everyone was really engaging, wanted to ask a lot of questions. Everyone's really happy with the results and things that we said. Um, there was zero negative feedback, and everyone walked away really happy and eager to get into LARP. So yeah, really, really happy with the results so far.
It was really good, and I think I mean, they've given me food for thought when it comes to content as well. Obviously, we won't mention it because I'm gonna make some stuff about it to hopefully help people, and we can go from there. So, with it being as close to D&D as possible, will all new players start in a tavern? That
There
is
is a nation.
that's a great question, Des.
There is a nation that is essentially a mix between D&D and Disney as an entire concept. And it is an army based around adventuring parties. Or when they go on armies, adventuring parties. So yeah, yeah. Essentially, the group dynamic for this nation is adventuring parties and chroniclers, and it's all about being the being worthy of story, no matter what it is that you do. So it's even if you make an enchanted item, the enchanted item is a massive part of the story, like a lady in the lake. The special potions are the things like the magic beans. That's a magic part of the story. Who created the beans, where the beans come from, all that. It's
Yeah,
not just Jack that goes up the beanstalk and the giant. It's every part of this. Every person that's involved in the story is important. But that's essentially the whole nation is this whimsical, happy adventuring party nation.
this is a question that I was going to ask anyway. Carolix has literally put this one out there before I could do it because I think it's a very important question that I think a lot of LARPs only deal with it when stuff comes up. That's the only time they put it out. So I think I know that it's an important topic for you and for people involved already. So I think for everyone else here, it says, loving this so far. How are you going to deal with conduct?
Right, yeah, super important. Essentially, yeah, conduct is an incredibly important thing. We're going to try and talk to as many other systems as possible, and see if there's a way that we can possibly share information between ourselves.
Mm.
Obviously, that's difficult because of Information Act and stuff like that. But yeah, we want to try and have a clear line of communication as much as possible with other systems to make sure that we're not just getting all the bad people. But yeah, so we are going to be using what is currently best practice, which is the missing stair technique or the missing stair system.
Mm.
If you're interested in knowing what that is, it's the same system that Empire currently uses. Um, we are using it, but with more rigid to how the system actually works. Um, if you're interested in knowing what the missing stair system is, you can go on to it's very well panelized with Nordic LARP talks, and we go from the missing stair. They talk about how they try and make sure that they get rid of within a process that is written down and easy for everyone to see. This is something that we're working on, and we're going to have Ren from ILARP help us write the process, and who's done a fantastic processing at ILARP games. And
Mm.
essentially, I think all Feast Your Eyes games use the same process that Ren has written with Kitty, I believe. Um, but yeah, type into YouTube, Missing Stair Technique by Nordic LARP Talks, and I can't remember the lady's name, but she does a fantastic presentation on talking about that and how that is used in systems to try and get rid of problematic players.
Yeah, you sent me the video, and I'm scrolling all the way back up at the moment to try to find
Yeah,
it
we've talked a
because
bit.
it is it's a very useful. Uh,
Yeah, it's all about trying our best. It's not There is no perfect system, but it's the best system currently for
yeah,
dealing with problems within the LARP and LARP community.
yeah. I can't find it. I'll have to fish it out at some point, and then we can put it out. Yeah, it's a very very good thing. It's for those who don't know, the basis of it is if you invite someone brand new to a party, to anything, and you have to turn around and say, "Oh yeah, they're all great. Oh, apart from this person, watch out for this person. They're a little bit, yeah, a little bit meh." Like that. That is the missing stair. If you have to preemptively warn someone about someone, that they're the missing stair.
Well, complicated, but then
I know
it's like
that's
a
very
25
very
plus minute like
basic of it all.
presentation. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot more to it, but there is a very good video on it, which I will find and I will put um, out there.
Yeah,
So
but no, it's very important to us. Also, a lot of things that we're writing is designed around trying to make sure that we're not appropriating anything, and also the way that we've written stuff is also trying to make it as wholesome as possible.
yeah,
Because we're trying to make sure that we're trying to be as future-proof as possible, and essentially just not triggering anyone. We don't need to. It's a fantasy game. We've got
mm,
amazing writers. We can write things out we don't want. Like we don't need it. Um, the whole reason why we are fighting back against land that we've lost is essentially we're doing essentially it's a civil war type fighting against blatant evil. But we're claiming our own land. We're not taking other people's land. Sort of that, and the idea that when once you've combated the problem, you can then try and cleanse and try get people back on your side again. Um, and kind of help the community kind of like grow and get back and get rid of the corruption.
yeah, yeah. It's really good. It's I mean I'm looking forward to it. I mean we talk about it so often now, and then we get progressively more drunk in Weatherspoons and talk about it even more. But I'm very excited about it, and I wish I was just saying it, but I'm not. I'm not going to lie about this. I'm genuinely looking forward to getting to the field for the first game and just seeing how it all plays out and seeing what everyone does. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to witness. Tom's asked, are there going to be big battles?
There's going to be a variety of size battles, which will be narratively chosen and driven.
Okay.
So not every event is going to have large battles. Empire's a great example. Empire always has large battles, where it's
Yep.
50% of the player base versus 50% of the player base, the combative player base. Um, we're not going to do that. It's going to change around based on what is happening with the narrative of that game and how the campaign is going. So we are
Mm.
going to have large battles where it is going to be more like Empire.
Yeah.
But it's going to change around a lot, and but there'll be a warning about what that sort of battles you expect to sort of take such before the game. Um, but yeah, a mix of sizes.
Okay, that's good.
Is what
So
it's
will
gonna have.
and there'll be like little skirmishes. There'll be lots of little
There'll be
things.
so many skirmishes, an unbelievable amount of skirmishes.
So are you looking for people who are interested in potentially just coming along to crew?
Yeah.
Will there be a specific way for people to sign up to this yet?
Yeah. So essentially, just sign up like you would do normally with the website. And at some point, there will be a one going out. It's like, hey, if you're interested in crewing, you know, press this button, and then it
Yeah.
will take you off to a thing. And then we will, then essentially, you essentially go through an application form or a conversation with me or one of the other directors or someone else.
Mm.
And essentially, we have to make sure we go through a vetting process. So again, the safety of our players is really important. So we want to try and be as proactive as possible in making sure that we're only having great people in our community be
Yeah.
part of crew, which I'm sure everyone is. But there might be some people from another system that is a wrong one, and we want to make sure that that's not part of our crew.
Bunch of bellends. Um, yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that. So are you taking on board what people say about like individuals? So if example, I know someone who's been a bit of a wrong un, and I came to you and I just said, watch out for this person. They are a bit of a wrong un. Is it a case of you
It's,
then have a note on that person? So if anything does happen, you can go, yeah, we already know. Let's be a bit stricter.
it won't be me doing that. Essentially, we'll have a trained team that handles these situations
Mm.
because, um, for example, say you did something wrong and you're my friend, like we know each other, we have drinks together outside of games. um if someone accused you of something
Mm.
and we go, oh no, Steve is fine, that could then potentially seem as favoritism from me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't want that.
So it needs to be a separate team of people that handle these situations, so it's not looking like the people at the top of the game are sending out favoritism towards particular individuals.
Yeah, yeah. You don't
um
want that. I think the best thing across the board is something that I've always said is that if one of my friends has done something very untoward, I want to know because I don't want to be. I'm never going to blame the victim. Never. That doesn't happen with me. I'll always support and then things and when then so things are dealt with. That's the way it has to go.
yeah.
I mean, I know
Oh,
since I've been doing all of this, I think we've spoken about a couple of things where I've lost friends, people who I considered really good friends.
yeah, no, we both have, like, and we've had chats about it. Like, we've both had the problem where something come up, and then we've acted and made sure that the people that were affected were well looked after, and we got rid of the problem.
People are asking for the volume to be turned up. Is it for me or is it for Nick? If it's for me, it's because my mic's a bit crap now, so I'll hold it here, and I'll turn Nick up a little bit more as well. Thank you, honey.
Okay.
I've only just noticed that, so I don't know how long they've been asking for.
It's all
So
good.
yeah, it's all there. We're all yeah. I'm not going to do ASMR voice because everyone hates it when I do that. It doesn't go down well.
Better? Awesome. Okay.
Hello. No. Um. So James has asked, "What's the plan for the icy religion?"
We're going to have a pantheon of gods. They are flawed individuals. I say flawed people. They're flawed as much as a human being is flawed. As because no one's perfect, including our gods. There'll be a pantheon of gods which everyone believes in, and there'll be other things that pop up and can be changed, and things can be done with them and interacted with, and they can turn up. They can gift you things.
Mm.
They can not be nice to you. Um, so yeah, we're gonna have a pantheon of gods, and we're gonna have a whole faith system,
Mm.
which is based around role play and interaction between individuals and players within the game. Um, and then with that system, essentially, there's going to be, it's almost like an EastEnders style plot of this pantheon that's going around between each event, and depending on what the priests of those gods do and how much faith they've collected,
Yeah.
that's going to be tallied up. And based on who's sort of winning, depends on how the plot or how that sort of EastEnders narrative changes
Yeah.
as it goes on from one event to the next.
Yeah.
Does the trickster god get away with the thing? does the trickster god have more faith being donated to them than the person that they've tricked? If the answer is yes, then yes, they get away with it completely scot free.
Because I want to add
So,
to all of this as well, because this was a conversation that we had on Thursday last week. With I'm not going to give anything away, but I know there's a lot of people who, when they go LARPing, they want to be able to affect the world.
yeah.
And I will 100% categorically say you can here. Because
Yeah.
I am. That is my entire character goal. I want to fuck with the world. So,
Please,
yeah.
people, go into Steve's Nation and stop him from trying to change the world.
Please don't. Come join me. One of us. One of us. One of us. So I'm joining Nation 9. If you want to be in my group in Nation 9. If you know Vampire the Masquerade, look up the Giovanni. That's my goal, baby. I'm going to fuck with everything, man. Sorry, your game's going to be great. It really is.
Despite you.
Like I have said to Nick on more than one occasions, if after the first game he isn't getting feedback from all the refs and looking at everything that's gone on, and then he comes to Nation 9 and gone, Steve, what the fuck are you doing? If I haven't done that, I've failed. Basically. I'm going to have a lot of fun. There's a lot of responses to the northern.
Will kill you.
I know you will. I know you will. There's a lot of response to the Northern Kingdoms expanding. It's no, we aren't, and I'm not writing direct narrative downtime for 100 people. So yeah,
Poor
so
Tom.
yeah, poor everyone there. So that's fine. So
Tom is an amazing writer. 100 people would be incredibly gifted to get a bit of personal narrative from Tom. However, it is too much.
it
So
is.
you can absolutely understand why.
Yeah.
But he's an incredible writer, and that's why he's also part of our writing team.
I want a little tangent. I do apologise. From the whole Comic-Con thing, so for doing Bastion, where I will never be able to get the look from Tom out of my head, where we were both playing survivors, and we were very different survivors. He was very tactical in his approach to the members of the public who were coming along to fight zombies. We've already discussed what happened to a certain individual during that one. We won't go into it again. And Tom was very much, we'll go in, you shout, you distract, you do all of this. It's professional. It's you want to survive and all of this. And then there's me turning up going, just fucking hit him. Just twat him. And the look of disdain coming from Tom was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful to behold. So Pat has asked, how will the economy work? Some systems noticeably have a 1%, which can feel exclusionary.
It's gonna be, I don't know the best way of how economic systems gonna work. We have some amazing economic writers who are in major fest systems at the moment and doing very well with them. And now how it works, they're very interested in how economy works. We've got some brand new people we brought in that have a history and essentially qualifications in economic systems. We are trying to bring it so we're going to give out more money in our system and rewards than I think a lot of other systems do. Even though it costs us. But because of our banking system, that's sort of like our sinkhole for money, as well as like kind of like guilds as well. So it's a lot easier for us to keep hold of kind of like the printed metal coins that we're going to have, because we are going to have our own printed metal coins. Didn't say that. So we are going to have our own coinage system and herbs, ingredients, and other items and resources. But we are trying to make it so the top 1% will be in trouble, and that will also fluctuate. So with the bank, we also want to make sure that you're putting your money back into the bank at the end of the game or during the game, whenever you want, because it's also an in-character thing.
Mm.
And the reason why you want to do that is because your bank builds interest. However, we think it'd be a lot more fun that if everyone doesn't get a bank of interest, randomly selected people that we don't know. So if you won the lottery, Steve, for the banking interest at the beginning of each event, we'd redo it because we're friends, and that's fortunately a sad negative for you. But everyone else, they get randomly selected that they could win the lottery. At which point, people from the Court of Daggers will turn up, and they'll come up to you, and they'll be like, "Congratulations, you've won the lottery," and they'll give you a giant card that has not named, but just says a lot of gold, with an actual number, and they'll hand it to you. They'll do congratulations, and then they'll leave, and you have to take this large, unnamed bank novelty bank check into the banking guild and get it checked in to get you a large amount of money.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when I've mugged them, am I allowed to cash it in?
Yes.
Just throwing that one out there, for no real reason
Yes,
whatsoever.
you can. However, it's also up to that person to make sure they kind of go around and go, look, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get guaranteed some money coming into my hand pretty soon. Can I have a bunch of people protect me and get me to the bank, please? Also, if someone does then mug you, you can then go to the Court of Daggers and get that sorted. So our world isn't all bright and very. So essentially, in a D&D game, there is a variety of classes. There's your cleric, there's your paladin, there's your fighter, there's your mage. These are all classics. Another classic, which is completely overlooked over and over again in LARP, because it has difficulty essentially doing it well, is rogues and rogue-like characters. And thugs, essentially. Um, we have designed a lot of our guilds to ensure that these problems are dealt with in character and are no longer problems, but actually a fun part of the game.
Yeah.
So the Court of Daggers is essentially our law system, which is based around very lovely and very nice and very polite assassins. It essentially works as almost like a social justice system of assassins.
Nice.
And at the lower level, you have letters and you have thugs. Mid level, you then have your curses, and high level, you have your assassinations. So we discovered from our game Portents, which I've designed in particular, where you play bad guys fighting good guys, that if you allow a player to interact and go with what it is that their character is against an NPC, they are less likely to then do it against a player.
Mm.
So at Portents, of all the games that we've had, they go off and do horrific things to incredibly lovely Disney-like village that's on the other side of the mist. And these are all horrific vampires. It's also a very camp game as well. But like horrific vampires, sack people, monsters of all different types, necromancers. They go in and they do a lot of very not nice things to a lot of lovely people. And then they come back.
Yeah.
There is zero crime in the camp because they got out what it is that their character is, even if it is horrific, against an NPC, where that's fine. So there's no need to then do that when you're with the player base.
No.
So as long as there's an avenue for people to steal, which is another guild, assassinate, mug, and curse, you can do it against NPCs. We can then also then start directing and protecting our players against this sort of character. So once they start doing it against NPCs, they're less likely to do it against players. But then we're still going to have it where there's going to be a bit towards players as well, where a community can gather together and go, this is a problematic character.
Yeah.
We would like them to be warned, assaulted, then cursed, then killed, which takes steps.
Yeah.
Now, say for example, I wanted to kill you because you're being a pain in the ass in Nation 9. And I do that in an in-character way where I get a collection pot around and I try and go off to get you. First of all, you'd be given a warning. So someone will be paid from the Court of Daggers Guild, which will be a player, to send you a message to go, "Hi there, we're not liking what you're doing. Please stop."
Mhm.
And you continue. At which point, we hire thugs. I say thugs, uh, protectors of the law, who will be paid. So once again, they'll give you another message going, "Hi, you're about to be assaulted. You have X period of time before you're being assaulted. We just wanted to pre-warn you to make sure that you're aware that these are the reasons why you're being assaulted," in a letter, and then they'll walk away. If there's an OC issue, you can just, because you've been warned and have given a time period, and go, "I think this is bullying out of character, or I'm not up for this type of game
Yeah.
because of whatever reason." You can go to literally the one of lots of refs with radios, guilds, camps. It's very easy to communicate with us as a game team. So we have so many radios, it's insane. And go, "We're not up for this because of X reason." That'll then be noted, and that person refunded.
Right. Okay.
So essentially, because we don't want it to be a problem, and then we can address that later on because we
Yeah.
want to make sure that everyone's having a fun game.
Yeah.
And then we can take everything on a case by case basis. But normally, if you knew about this and you go, "Oh yeah, fair enough, I've been a pain, and I'm aware that this is because of my in-character action. It's not an out-character thing." You're like, "Okay, cool. Someone's going to fight me in a bit," and then you can prepare for that and they kind of like an edge and like enjoy that part of the
Yeah.
game. Then later on, they go, "Right, you still haven't done the thing. You still haven't stopped being a pain. We're going to curse you." Then later on, for a very large amount of money, they can try and kill you. At which point, once again, you'll be before each thing, you'll be warned. So if there is a problem, it'll be associated with out of character. You can deal with that.
Yeah.
But if
Okay.
you're up for that game, you're allowing itself to continue.
Yeah. But if you're not up for it, you need to have a good reason as to why. Because just turning around and saying, "I don't like this sort of game," then it'd be, well, don't. You shouldn't engage in that sort of game then, because there are repercussions to what you are doing.
Yeah, if you're going to be a problematic character,
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine. But then people can then deal with you.
Yeah. That's all good. That's all good. Des just said there's people in the Empire group saying that they're wanting to come LARPing and already after speaking to us all at MCM. That's really cool. That's really cool. I
Yeah,
love it.
I also promoted, Empire as well. Gave out the leaflets.
Yeah, I think that was the big thing I said, wasn't it? I said everyone is there to promote their own LARPs in a way. I said, but I want everybody to promote LARP across the board.
Yeah,
And that's
well,
so,
it's
and
the
it works
community,
so
and
well.
yeah, it worked so well. Everyone got on really well. There was no
Mm.
personalities. And yeah, the community is really important in LARP, and you'll be working together to get the best out of it.
Yeah,
And I'm essentially, I wouldn't say taking advantage of that, but I'm trying to find the best people in LARP for all the different areas and combine them together to make this one. It's because I'm part of the community. And I do iLARP games. I've done other games that aren't iLARP, Curious Pastimes, Empire. It's by knowing all these people and engaging with the community has made me able to find all these people that I really like and try and gather them into one
yeah.
space.
No, that's really good because community is what it's all about at the end of the day. And this is why community means everything to me on a personal level. It's why I do everything that I do. I don't do this to make money. I don't do this for popularity. I don't do this for clicks. I don't do this for likes. I do this to purely help people out and get people into this hobby and to hopefully get it so that they never have any money again because they've spent it all on kit, weapons, LARP, tents, you name it. And that so, and it's also why I have offered and I'm going to be running the Menhirs Fate Discord for them as well. So I will Do you want to put a link up for that tonight, or would you rather wait?
Wait a little bit.
Wait a little bit. Okay, I won't bother then.
Yeah, there's a couple of names we want to put in and change around that we're dealing with the nations.
Yeah.
So we're kind of referencing them by number because we're still arguing over what the name should be.
Yes.
With some of the
Yeah.
nations.
But I will probably put it into my Discord first, so everyone in the Hefty Yeti Discord will get access to it quite quickly. There's not nothing in there. There's no information as of yet, but it's a place where you will be able to find out a lot of information before it goes out, because it will be put into this Discord. So it will be a thing worth doing. Rich has asked, with Menhirs Fate aiming to be as close to D&D as possible, should we expect standard races like elves, dwarves, orcs, etc., or there'll be more unusual ones like ASMR, or tieflings?
Yes, this was more the lesser known races of D&D. So the answer is no. We're not having pretty much any races available for players. We're mostly going to be humans and humans affected by magic in a variety of different ways. The reason for that is race and genetics and lineage within games is problematic. And having that in the line of the player base can cause problems and issues. We want this game to be as open and available for as many people and from different cultures as possible. And we don't want to limit ourselves by having things in like goblins, which obviously is obvious where their background comes from. Orcs is also problematic because of its kind of like black heritage background that it actually is derived from. And yeah, we're just trying to avoid as much of that. Dwarfs is obviously another classic. Elves is based around white Caucasian people being a superior race. So we're just not having any of it. You are all human. All humans are equal. Have the same amount of XP. There's no changes in whatever you're doing. However, there will be different types of magic. There's more than just the four we've said previously. There are other ones as well, which are kind of the mix of different elements that create interesting things that you can be affected by. So we want people to have amazing, bright, vibrant, and obviously in different colors costumes, as well as trappings and makeup. So everyone can look as incredible and individualistic as they want without it being based around race.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really, really good. You were naughty. You've done a naughty thing. I see what you've typed into chat. You've responded to a question without actually answering the question. Not angry, just disappointed. How dare you? So the question was, is there room for more villainous or grey characters? It sounds like a very heroic system.
Oh yes. So
Well, we know it's yes. You've answered already in chat.
Yep, done.
That's it. Right, let's move on.
So the nations as well as the realms are based around different play styles. As you just read Bolan's question, didn't you?
Yeah. Is it true that Robert Downey Jr. based his Tony Stark look on you? On me? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's based off Steve.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the original question was now. Yes, the
Morally,
different types of players.
grey area.
So yeah, so obviously the guilds are designed around ensuring that we can safely utilize different types of characters that are usually different or more problematic to have, including the Treasure Hunters Guild, which is also, strange enough, if you've stolen something in character, that's where you drop it off to. It's in that middle central city. It has all the different things going on. So instead of going out of character to drop something off, you go in character. And then you also have a choice, which is I have stolen Bob's magical flaming sword. and
Poor bug.
I hand it in and go, "Hi, I've stolen, or I have found this." And they go, "Okay, lovely. Um, would you like me to buy it off you, or would you like to keep it?" And then go, at which point you can fence it off to a NPC, and they'll keep the whole weapon and the fizz rep. Well, the ribbon item and fizz rep, or then go, "No, I'd like to keep it." Actually, you go, "Cool, no problem." They then take the sword and then give you back, attached to a new weapon, the same sword, but with the ribbon and the essentially like the item stuff on it. Which now means if you're the victim of a theft, and also theft is hard in our game because we have a bank system. The bank can't be stolen from. Well, actually, they can. There is going to be an in-character safe at the back, but that is filled with money that is not connected to a player. So people may attempt to steal from the bank.
Yeah.
You'll very quickly see what happens to you if you attempt it. But it is possible. However, you can keep your money in the bank. So you can actually just withdraw from the bank as much money as you're happy to have on your person. So if it gets stolen, it's only what you're happy to have withdrawn. There is a way of you defending yourself and your currency from being stolen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can essentially have a way of doing theft and making it sort of as safe as possible. It's a lot more complicated. There's a lot more to it. I think I'm explaining the in-character assaults and thievery system badly, but it's a very complicated system, but it's easy for player usage.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the big thing, isn't it? Also, apologies to everybody who's had to just listen to me breathing. I've been holding the mic too close. There's just no middle. There's no middle ground here. It sounds like there's a lot, and there is a lot here, but it's because it's a new fest. So
Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of information to soak in. I think the best bit of advice I would give, it'll be the same advice I give to anybody who wants to go to Empire for the first time. If you are interested in Nation 4, obviously we haven't spoken about nations because of the time at the moment, because the nations are still being, well, some of the nations are still being written. All the nations have had a lot of writing done on them. Some of the nations are still being fine-tuned, I think is the best way to describe it.
yeah. Like some bits we're looking at brief and going, "Oh, could we change the brief around a little bit? Or could we add a bit more to this?" Um, but yeah, we will soon release essentially all the different nations and what they are. So I'm sort of happy to talk about it, but it's I think we're limited on time because there's 9 nations to go through, and even on a basic briefing of all of them, it'll take a while.
So when we spoke about the nations just for Comic-Con, that was 2 hours. That was two
Yeah,
hours, and
yeah, yeah.
that was for 4 people. So
but but the idea, even though I think I'm explaining it badly, obviously news fest system is a lot of information to get through.
you didn't
It's
explain it
it's
badly. There was just
designed
a
to
lot.
be
There's a
yeah,
lot.
it's designed to be really easy for the players to interact with, but we've got a lot of thought process behind the scene.
Yeah.
And also, it's all those thought processes are thinking about it with psychology and sociology and the community of LARP and LARPers in our minds.
Hmm.
So everything that we've done and designed is for a reason. So how do you explain that we have puppets in our system?
Yes, I was avoiding that.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of puppets. They don't scare me or
right.
anything. They just annoy me.
Well, then probably because that design area isn't for you, Steve.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
ashamed to
designed
say it either.
for a particular type of people, and they're going to absolutely love it.
Yeah. So I think something that would be worth doing, because obviously we are going to talk a lot about MF before it's released. You are gonna come on at regular points. So I mean, where Bolan has said when's part 2, it's like, mate, there's going to be like a part 7 and a part 8.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot to go through.
There's a really interesting question that's come up about kind of like
That's what I was going to read. I was about to read out.
money. Yeah. Go for
And
it.
because I've noticed that, and I thought that
It's a good one.
is a phenomenal question. But we haven't got enough time for it now, so I'm sorry. Everyone who's watching this, I'm so sorry we can't get to. So who's it? Talis Ashbourne. How will you challenge? I recommend not shortening to MF, but to Fate LARP. But it's motherfucker.
Yeah, I like Fate.
Oh, but I
Fate
like.
is my
Oh, I like
is my
motherfucker.
favorite.
It's a motherfucking LARP.
I like Fate.
Okay, fine. Fate. Um, I will call it MF away from stream then. How will you challenge monopolies? Unless Sam Jackson is doing your PR, that would be really cool.
We can ask.
I wonder if he's on. What is that? That thing that website where you can get celebrities to read something out and you pay them like 50 quid or something. I can't remember what it's called, but you can.
Anyway, concentrate on the questions, please.
Cameo.
Focus.
Sorry, focus. Yeah, sorry everyone. How will you challenge monopolies and power blocks that establish themselves and keep an equilibrium between fun of building up power and new people being able to affect change?
Yeah, plot is how you affect the world, not money. So essentially, by having the banking system, that is designed as well as the other things you can do with money. Um, but the bank system is our like number one sinkhole into the system. So other systems have other ways of doing sinkholes. Empire system, their sinkhole is obviously like mithril and things like that. You're changing your coins into a piece of paper, and that piece of paper can then be used to build more things.
Yeah.
And that goes into the Senate budget, blah blah blah, and that circulates the economy, and that's how that works. That's that sinkhole. Um, we're not having it done the same way. So money is really cool, and it can get you a lot of cool items that help you do stuff. But money and the economy will work. But money isn't as important as in other systems. Empire system is it's a highly political game, and money is a massive part of the entire system and how it works. To which point, money is a massive part of the game, and it's a way of you being able to reach and touch plot and change the world. Um, our design concept is we have an economy. Economy is important and fun because a lot of people were able to engage with that. Everyone can engage in uh, the economics of a game and enjoy that, get money, get core items, build a thing. But we haven't designed it as being an important part of our game.
Right.
And because it's not the most important part of our game, that's really good stopping that monopoly from happening. And there's power blocks because it's not based around economics as power block system.
Yeah.
Also, it's not a political. We are going to have politics in it and social PvP, but again, we're not copying Empire. We're a different game. That's how they do it. That's how their power structure is, and that's how the plot and things can trickle down is from how they've built their game. We're building our game differently.
Yeah. I think that's the big thing that stands out. This is more. It feels like it's written by the players for the players. I think is a good way to describe Fate. It's a lot of players who are experienced LARPers who know what they like, know what they want, know what they need out of a game, and that's what's being put back into the game. It's been written with a lot of love, a lot of care, and a lot of attention, which is lovely. It really is lovely. I think there's a lot of systems out there, not just fest systems, but this is all over the world. I've been looking at one in America recently, and it seems to be written with money in mind, which you can tell straight from the off. Whereas this is very much written for how are we going to get people involved? How are we going to make people comfortable? How are we going to give people the game that they want? And how are we going to deal with issues? It's not going to be if they arrive, but when they arise. And how are we going to make the game safe and all of these sorts of things. And it's, in all honesty, mate, it's a fucking breath of fresh air. It really, really
Yeah,
is.
but it has to be fresh air, because if we're not doing that, then we're just writing the same game that someone else has done with a different backstory,
Yeah.
and that's pointless. Because we want it that, if all the games are good and are designed in a particular way, like, we're not throwing shade at other systems or other game
No,
systems.
no.
They are all amazing systems, but they're designed for particular people in mind.
Yeah.
We're just making something that's different from the other ones. So you're not choosing what exact same type of bread am I going to take? Is it this white loaf or this white loaf? You're
Yeah.
like, oh no, we need something different. So you've got more variety to choose from, or you just enjoy all of the games because they're all uniquely different.
Yeah.
So you go to all the different best games for a different experience,
Mm.
and hopefully we're all going to line up, and I'm pretty sure we do. We're not on any of the major fest systems timelines. Very sure about Curious Pastimes and Empire. I'm not 100% confident with the others, but I'm pretty confident. So you can enjoy all of them if you have the ability to go to all of them. You're very lucky if you can. Um, but they are different experiences. So we
Yeah.
have to be a fresh air, otherwise we're just copying someone else.
Yeah. This is gonna be the final question. Well, Murray's just said, I can't wait. Seriously, can't wait to delve into a new world and start pondering.
Thank you.
I think a lot of people are going to be very excited about it, but I want an honest. I want an honest answer from you. If you aren't involved in writing this game, you aren't involved in doing anything on this game behind the scenes, and you saw this game coming out, would you want to play it yourself?
This is gonna be very big headed of me,
Yep.
but I generally think that we have a really good chance of. Well, I generally think that chance. That's me lying. I generally think this will be the best system in the world.
Okay.
I know what we're doing. I know what we're creating, what we're building, and I know the team that's behind it all. And every single one is just incredible. And when we start releasing who's involved in the game more and more and more, um, I think everyone's gonna be excited by seeing all the names and things we have, and the amazing plethora of work. Um, and yeah, there's influence from everywhere. I would love to play my game. I'd really love to play my game, but I can't. So I'm going to be at Curious Pastimes. I'm going to really enjoy that game. I'm going to be at Empire. I'm going to really enjoy that. Um, because I have to, because I can't play my own game. And I'm a laugher. I'm still going to laugh. I'm not going to just run my game and hide and hiss at every other LARP system. I'm still going to try and go to as many LARP systems as possible and enjoy myself. And then
Yeah.
the rest of the time that I'm not laughing, I'm writing and running this monster that I've created.
Yeah. I think very excited is the understatement for this LARP. It's gone from being the worst kept secret in LARP history to now having a name, to having some graphics associated with it that just sat behind me that you can see. I wonder if that thing's moving. Let's have a. No, the cart's gone. Can't see the cart.
And there's the cart. There
Oh
it
no,
is.
there it is. There it is. There you go. There's the cart. Just moving along. It's very cool. So I'm looking forward to our next chat when more's been released. I guess for me it's been it's kind of spoiled for me because I'm on the Discord and I've seen a lot of stuff that's gone in there, so I know a lot of it. But I'm looking forward to hearing it and seeing it fleshed out, which is it's almost there. Let's face it, it's very, very close, and I look forward to seeing all the excitement and all the hype that's going to be following, because that's the next step.
We're constantly going through games tests and making sure that everything is as best as it can possibly can be. Essentially, as soon as it goes onto the wiki, as soon as it's published, um, so I just got a message from someone else asked. Art is done by Scorpion Art, by the way.
Scorpion Art. Excellent.
And Scorpion Art, that's the background that's behind you now, and they also did the intro for um, High Rollers intro.
Hmm.
That's the artist behind that.
Very, very cool. That is really cool. There's a lot of stuff coming, and it's all exciting. So for those who've been paying attention, will realise we've not touched the nations, we've not touched the magic.
Oh, but it is on the panel though, isn't it? We talked about it on the panel that you
We
recorded.
do. We touch on it on the panel.
Yeah.
Will there be
Yes,
an
there'll be an
actual?
actual
There will
Menhir.
be an actual Menhir. Yes. So anyone who's interested wants to come and play in my group. That's an open invite. The more the merrier.
Other groups are available.
Not as good though, are they? Let's be honest. Mine's best.
They're likely to be better.
Fuck off! How dare you? I am. No, I am ending this stream right now. My group is best group. If you fancy playing in a, I suppose, Castlevania themed nation, I'm not going to give too much away than I already have. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. The panel from Comic-Con. Yes, Talis. Yeah, I was about to say it is being uploaded currently to go onto my YouTube channel. It's huge. I don't know how it's so big, but the actual recording of it was massive, so it's taken a while. But that will be going up today. Will there be random roles available, D&D Skyrim style, for character creation?
No. Everyone has the same amount of XP that they can put into their character system.
Excellent. Excellent. So there's a lot of stuff coming, and there's a lot of stuff that's being ironed out, and this is the first proper chat really around the game, the world, and things. And I think unsurprisingly a lot of the questions have been about where, when, cost, kit, and other rules related questions. And I think as the nations and the magic, the rituals, and everything gets released, I think the excitement's only going to grow. So that's a really good way. That's going to be a good way to end it, Hubert. In a short sentence, how would you describe Fate?
A beautiful, wholesome world that needs people to help protect it.
Beautiful, wholesome world that needs saving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't join my group if you want to save the world.
If you don't, you're gonna make so much trouble. I will kill you.
I know you will.
If you try and destroy my game in the first game.
Who would do such a thing?
You would.
Nick, as always, mate, it's an absolute. I love chatting to you, and we could chat about this for days. I think we have done. This is the first time we've spoken about it in length without there being any alcohol involved. I don't like this.
Give
game.
me time.
I say I don't like this game, but no, this has been really cool. I've really enjoyed this, and we'll look at doing more chats with more people who are involved in the game. We'll get other people on to chat about things with
I'm
you.
I'm really looking forward to getting the other people involved talking about the game as well, because I think I think everyone has the same levels of enthusiasm and love for LARP and the community as much as me. That's really, I think I'm really looking forward to seeing how everyone else sees that is essentially the number one thing that we're about.
Yeah, definitely, very, very much so. Thank you everybody for coming to watch.
Thank you very much for taking up your time to listen to me waffle on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, listening to Nick speak sense and me just interrupt. That's been pretty much the nature of the stream, but let's face it, I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you for chatting. Thank you everyone who's subscribed, followed, and all of that sort of stuff. we'll plan in another Fate chat in a little while when some more bits and bobs are done. Yeah, I will put the Discord link up when it's ready in the Menhirs Fate chat in my Discord, so people can come along. Well, people can message me and I'll send it to them.
If someone could put the website in so people can have a little link, that'd be amazing as well.
I've already done it.
So if you're interested, oh yeah, down at the bottom again. Yeah, please sign up. So when more information is available, we'll get it to you, including probably like the Discord available.
Yeah, we'll get a lot of stuff. We'll get a lot of stuff done. Yeah. So we're gonna end it in the normal way. We're gonna go off and raid someone. We're gonna go and spread the love because this has been such a lovely, wholesome chat. I do love it. Sort by for me, apparently. I don't know what that means. Following. Dun, 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 dun. Let's go and raid Dolly. A few days wrangling the brainworms, and a few days away I'm back with it, with some liberation. He's playing some armor. Go and give Dolly some love, everyone. Go and pick him up a bit. He's it's obviously the brain weasels have been kicking in for him. So go and give him some love. Pick him up.
Get him.
Yeah. And I'll be back on Monday for the Empire lot with some Matthew Pennington coming on stream to chat. We're going to be talking PvP, but there will also be obviously lots of questions from everybody involved. So I think that's ready to go.
Yeah.
Go and give Dolly some love. Much love to you all. Much love to Nick, and much love to Richie, who I believe is there as well.
Yeah, she's hiding upstairs.
Excellent stuff.